Persichetti. Across the country, thousands of young people just began the fall semester at college. Many are studying for a career they may have for the rest of their lives. But for one Hunter College student, a divine intervention is taking him closer to a calling of a lifetime. Current News' Katie Vasquez is here now to tell us more about it. Hi, Katie.
Hello, Christine. Well, every young adult struggles to make those big life decisions, especially when they're in college deciding on a major. Patrick Ruby was almost done with school. He was 1 year away from graduation, planning on getting a job, getting married, having kids. But deep down, he felt a pull that he really wanted to give his life to the Lord. For 2 decades, Patrick Ruby has been following a certain path.
I have an internship. I'm doing campus ministry on 2 different campuses. I have classes.
He's a junior at Hunter College studying history. That is until he decided he's dropping out of school for a higher calling.
Encouraging and mentioning this vocation to the seminary and to discern the priesthood.
The St. Gabriel's parishioner admits he fought those feelings for a while, thinking that he was meant to have a different life.
That was a big fight between what I wanted, which was a family, and what maybe the Lord wants, which is something a little different.
He didn't feel a personal connection to Christ until high school, and his vocational call started in college.
It was about a year ago that I could say concretely I encountered the Lord tugging and nudging at my heart.
But that tug turned into a pull when Patrick attended World Youth Day in Portugal.
After months and months of saying no and turning my back, I was okay, let's say a little yes.
Patrick is dropping out of Hunter, saying goodbye to his family and friends, and heading to Italy to continue his discernment journey.
I've lived with my parents and my family my whole life. To move away from that, to stop that, will be very difficult. For sure.
His pastor, Father Nicholas Apollonio, is encouraging him along the way, knowing young people across the country are wrestling over whether to answer their call.
Now it's a big struggle for vocations. Our society is becoming more and more secularized, going away from God.
But as someone who walked a similar path, he thinks the road ahead is bright.
If God called him, I think he won the lottery.
Patrick is flying over the Atlantic as we speak on his way to Porto San Giorgio, Italy, where he will learn more about his newfound calling. Christine?
Wow, Katie, what a story. So tell us a little bit more about his trip and what comes next for Patrick.
Well, he's actually heading to Italy to a discernment meeting. He's actually part of the Neo-Catechumenal Way, or the NEOCATs, and that's a lay movement that focuses on the rediscovery of baptism and faith formation. And he'll probably be back next week, but after that, it's kind of a mystery because he could be here a day, a month, and there's going to be a lottery to decide which seminary he'll be learning at.
Well, we hope to have him back here. And you mentioned Patrick's calling was back and forth until World Youth Day. So what convinced him to say yes, finally?
Well, definitely being in World Youth Day, those days of prayer in Portugal, they were pretty crucial for him. And he said that something inside him just told him that this was his calling. When he stood up during the vocational calls, he said he just knew he was ready to move on and answer the call to serve God's people.
Wow, I love it. Great story. Thanks so much, Katie. A statue of Mary that was once vandalized now stands again at a Queens church. Brooklyn Bishop Robert Brennan blessed the new image of Our Lady at St. Mary's Nativity St. Anne Parish. The old image was desecrated last October when a man drove his car onto the parish lawn and repeatedly hit it in the face. The image shocked the Queens community and Pastor Father Jose Diaz, who witnessed the attack.
It's brought the community together in a very real way, and I think we saw that tonight. And so people have really shown their support, their love, by their prayers, their donations, just all across the board.
The light overcomes the darkness. The suffering releases love. Hatred releases mercy. And indifference releases deeper faith.
The new statue hails from Italy. It is a foot taller than the old one and is made of marble. Bishop Brennan recognized some lay leaders over the weekend. from 23 parishes in the Diocese of Brooklyn gathered at St. Simon and Jude Church for Mass. Catechists are those who teach the principles of the Catholic faith to kids who aren't in Diocese of Brooklyn schools. The catechists at this Brooklyn church were celebrating milestone anniversaries, spreading the faith to the next generation for up to 50 years. On the anniversary of 9/11, Bishop Brennan celebrated Mass with a community that was directly affected by the tragedy. The liturgy at the Blessed Trinity Parish in Breezy Point honored the 29 lives lost from the Queens community. Their names were read aloud after the Mass at the church's 9/11 memorial. Roses were also placed at that memorial for each victim. Developing tonight, catastrophic flooding in Libya. Emergency workers desperately trying to rescue people from floodwaters after dams broke, washing away entire neighborhoods in the eastern city of Derna. Local authorities say at least 2,300 people have died and 10,000 people remain missing in the unprecedented flooding. Pope Francis was deeply saddened to learn of the immense loss of life and destruction caused by the flooding. The Holy Father sent his condolences to the people of Libya, assuring those affected of his prayers for the souls of the deceased and all who mourn their loss. Pope Francis is also praying for Morocco. During Sunday's Angelus, the Pope asked for prayers for the victims of the Moroccan earthquake that killed more than 2,900 people. The Holy Father saying he's praying for the injured and the dead and their families. He also thanked the rescue teams and everyone working to alleviate the sufferings of the people of Morocco. Caritas International joined Pope Francis in extending condolences to the Moroccan earthquake victims. It has put in place an effort to provide aid to Morocco. If you'd like to help, go to caritas.org and click on the donate button. The earthquake, with a magnitude of 6.8, was the largest ever recorded in the region in over a century. Finally tonight, a sign of hope in the sky last night. A double rainbow appeared over the city after the heavy downpour, and New Yorkers marveled at the sight. Some took special note that the natural phenomenon happened on the anniversary of 9/11. One person said it was a sign the victims were watching over us and, quote, a promise heaven is real. Wow. And that is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us, because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.